All right, good evening, everybody. It's an amazing evening again to be here. I'm so excited to be here. It's another Tuesday evening. Welcome to another Overflow Mindshift section with Benedict Obiajulu. It's going to be another interesting evening. I am so excited. Last week we had a visitor and he blew our mind and updated us with so many secrets. If you missed it, please do have to look into our page and go through it again so that you learn more. Even if you were live in that training, you can go back and check again so that you can remember some things you must have missed. And today again is another amazing Tuesday. Today is another Tuesday to blow your mind. I'm so excited. I've told you before, Tuesdays are just my favorite because I get to learn a lot, and a lot. And I'm ready again today with my pen and my writing materials. I hope you're also ready. If you are here live, please write your name in the comment section where you're watching us from, and so I can give a shout out to you. And as interesting as always, our MD is already here. But before I introduce him, I want you to be sure that you already have your pen ready. I want to be sure that you already have your writing materials. I want to be sure that you had a blessed Tuesday also, because I hope your Tuesday went well, because mine has been going amazing. I've been able to record most of the things I wanted to do today, and checking my list before the start of this program, I was very happy because I checked 90% of what I was supposed to do today. So that's something I was able to learn from this show. Mr. Christian Ufondu from Asaba, thank you and welcome on board. I hope you're ready for your mind to be moved. From what I'm noticing now, our MD is already ready for us. Mr. Joe from Asaba, you're welcome. So without wasting much of our time, let me welcome our able MD, Mr. Benedict Obiajulu. Good evening, sir. Welcome
Good evening,
aboard.
Mike.
I'm so happy to have you here.
Good evening, Mike. It's an amazing evening. How have you been today?
I'm very well, thank you, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm grateful. I'm grateful. It's a wonderful time. Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's another Tuesday night, and today we're going to drill deeper into understanding the concept of our craft and understanding how to get better with what we are doing and understand the integrity of the subject matter. 3 weeks ago, we had a speaker and he talked about product knowledge. He shared a story of in the early days of one lady back in 2018, and they told her egg cars, and somebody said, I want to buy 2 egg cars, and she never understood what was egg cars, and she ended up thinking an egg car was a location. Okay, so today we're going to delve into the concept of what? To the concept into the concept of um, of land and of the subject matter of what we're doing. So it's a beautiful time. So today, well, how many of us are already here? It's important that you remember that wealth would always be shared in communities and not in isolation, right? Yeah, in Igbo, it's the text that Abakamumbo Minyono Ba Sinachi, which funnily is the name of one of our estates, right? So what I'm trying to say is remember to share the link, remember to invite your friends, remember to democratize knowledge, remember to get a lot of persons on board, because in doing that, you're safeguarding yourself so that the day you need ideas, the day you need idea refinement, you have a lot of persons that are willing to, that when they look into what you have presented, can I have your thought on this? Can you have your input on this? When you ask them, it can be clean. And you could have played a part in it directly or indirectly. So welcome once again. Remember to share the link. Share it on your WhatsApp status, share it on your Facebook. Inform our persons in the group that we are here. And it's a nice time for them to grow. Okay, so quickly, we're looking at strategies that help advance real estate development, especially in dynamic times, right? Why I say in dynamic times is, uh, you see, people have gotten known land banking, right? I've gotten used to land banking. What is reigning in the industry now is three crop production and the rest of it. But there is this deep understanding that you have about your product, about the product knowledge, about understanding the impact of land, and it helps drive home your point, right? Because wealth comes as a result of two things, and it comes about as a result of asset, and it comes as a result of cash. And if wealth would come as a result of cash flow, one of the basic criteria for wealth will be will be asset based. And if it is asset based and it is property, so how do you determine what asset basis, what properties, what lands, what that will keep going on in value to be able to match the inflation rate and match every other rate, right? I know most of us don't know, but there's a place we all know as the Victoria Garden City in Lagos. But that place used to be a plantain plantation, right? Thank God for the ability to do research. So, as beautiful as FGC is, it was a plantain plantation. So, you should know if the place used to be a plantain plantation, how useful or how valuable was the land as at that time. So, just like, excuse me, just like some of us should always say, right? That clearly states that not all land uh, looks useful. But you know, the beauty of the thing is that FGC was here and the development was going this way. So, and people were going as far as 1 hour away from FGC, from why the development just stopped close to FGC, and that was a plantain plantation. So think of that. So why could here that now become one of the best places in the in Lagos State used to be a plantain plantation? And because in this concept, land is a tripartite investment. So what I mean is tripartite. I mean that whatever you own, whatever is on the ground, you own whatever is below the ground, right? You have your mineral rights. Once there is mineral, you own whatever is on top of the ground. Do you get it? Up, down, and three, right? So it's a tripartite investment. So so sometimes you may have to perfect your documents to be able to own the minerals under the ground, because you can own the title to a land and somebody can own the mineral rights. Yes, I've seen it happen severally. So these minerals are not everywhere, right? But so where there are minerals on the ground, when you suspect there's a grounds, so you now have to go to the Ministry of Minerals and Mines. And but that is the understanding. Example, you could have land near the water axis and you want to be mining sand. As little as sand is white sand, right? And you know, as that little as it is, it's a good source of cash flow. You don't have NIWA permit very close to the river. Let's use River Niger, for example. You don't have NIWA permit to mine sand to get off those white sand. What happens? You own the land, you have your CFO on it, but you don't have the permit. You don't have the mining license on it, right? Then if it's where there is bauxite, where there is gold, right? And as long as you want to do it legally, You would have to go to the Federal Ministry of Mines. It's no longer NIWA, to get what? To get your license. So that's what it is, right? So it's also important that you understand that real estate would never keep increasing in size. It would never. And so those are the subject matter of what you are creating. Is a fungible, is a non-fungible product. Non-fungible in the terms of okay, non-fungible in the terms of they can never be two pieces of land, right? They can be two pieces of land opposite. Let's use lane tap. Right? So each land is different. Non-fungibility, right? It's not a is not universally the same. Just like petrol. Petrol is a fungible product. You don't ask, is this petrol, where was this petrol made? You don't ask. You're not really interested that is this petrol made in Egypt or is it made in Dangote refinery, or there is no much differential between those ingredients. So it's important. It's important that you understand that these things, right? So real estate can never increase in size, but the value will keep increasing. And every business on earth is a real estate business. Is a real estate business. So we've talked about non-fungibility. There was a time we had this wave within the Gen Zs, right? We call it non-fungible tokens when they were trading a unit of crypto. It means that every land is 100% different. Even if this land is here and the next is here, they can't be universally the same. So just understand that concept, right? Electricity is basically the same, right? So oil is basically petroleum is basically the same. They are non-fungible. But here in land, we are dealing with non-fungible tokens, just like artwork. You cannot have exactly the same artwork. Okay. So that's important. We have that, and most times, most businesses on earth have they come in another business, but they have the real estate aspect of it because they have to operate from a shop. They will have to operate from a factory. They would have to operate from a real estate base. So these make them have real estate mechanisms on it. So whether you're hosting data centers, you're going to have massive. So the other day I was discussing with some persons, and it had to do with electricity, right? And based on the energy deregulation that we had in 2023, and these were a state trying to buy off their own arm of the national grid from the federal government. And one of the things that they were required was to purchase around 50 hectares of land. The state has to acquire 50 hectares of land. Interestingly, right? So, well, they're going to produce electricity, truly, because where would they produce electricity from? They have to mount the plant where? On ground. The plant will not be on the air. It's going to be somewhere. So it's 50 hectares is not a small land. Okay, so let that sink in. So not to be in real estate is not to be in business. So assuming, so why these concepts? Remember why we're sharing this. We want to understand deeper what product knowledge really looks like. So not to be in real estate. Just imagine you want to host a power plant to sell electricity, or you want to host a refinery to sell petrol, but you don't have the land to host a refinery, right? You want to sell energy, petrol. Now you want to sell another energy, electricity, and you don't have the land. Right? You want to do business. Maybe if it's a PT business and you don't have a shop. You want to produce the shirts, but you don't have a factory. If you want to import it, you have to trap it somewhere. Okay. So most times when people decide to be tenants, you know what happens? they decide to, their grandfather used to be a tenant and then want to be a tenant. So invariably, and tenant is in two ways. You get it. There is a tenant by choice, and there's a landlord by choice, right? So most times when we say that concept, we talk of people living in their own houses. But because of the prevailing times, because of how the economy is, and because of the mobile nature of of um of the growing populace, people can be tenants by choice. And now let me explain. Because most times when someone is trying to buy his first land, what he's asking himself is, will I live here? And that is the most fundamentally wrong question you should ask. You're becoming an economic lord, not a possessor field lord, right? If you're thinking from the economic aspect, if you have to let the client understand how to think from the economic position of being a lord, not from the possessive possession of being a lord. He wants to answer landlord because he lives in his house. No, that's not who is a lord. In the context of understanding the product knowledge, what we focus on is being an economic lord, meaning utilization of the land as asset based and driving cash flow. Does that make sense? So it's returning maximum capital appreciation, and it has the potential or is already driving maximum um, cash flow. Does that make sense? So invariably, so some persons will be their grandfathers has been tenants, and generationally they end up being tenants. So it's not a generational, we already know it's a generational what? It's not a generational cost, it's really a generational choice. Because most times, persons, I was discussing with someone the other day and I found out that most people still don't know that persons can own land through installments. And that means that me and you have not done well in this industry by educating enough of the populace that, oh, it's no longer like in the conventional times where if this land is worth 10 million or 20 million, that you must put the whole money together, right? So meaning that we have to shout more, we have to make more noise, we have to throw out these offers time and time and time. We have to talk to those persons that earn allowances or earn salaries monthly, make a commitment here and there. And within 1 year, within 6 months, you will be an economic lot. Okay, so that is it. So remember, we talked about viewing the property, viewing the land as a place that will drive maximum cash flow, that has the capacity to drive maximum capital acquisition. Because funny, the earth is the Lord's by creation, right? But the earth is also yours by your purchase. It's also yours by your passive, by your it's yours by your purchase, it's yours by it's yours by your activity. So what that means is as subtle as it sounds, because in Psalm 24 we hear the earth is the Lord's and the fullness. We have there's something I call the two forms of C of O's, right? Although there are three, and we have the consciousness of minds, right? And I mean, when you're trying to look at the root title of a land, the consciousness of occupiers, and we have something we call the consciousness, the certificate of occupancy. And now, when you say the earth is the Lord's by creation, how does it become your own? Right? The earth is the Lord's by creation. How does the earth belong to you? It comes there by your activity, right? By your activity. An example, the CFO, the certificate of occupancy, by you going to the government to tell the government, oh, I did one transaction with somebody somewhere, right? And this man claims that the land used to be ancestrally his. or has, or the history that led to my own deed shows that there was an Aboriginal on this land, and that has led you to do your government, to do your findings, and the government will certify the transaction and stamp it, and that's one of your activity, right? Good. And then the consciousness of occupiers. Consciousness of occupiers. I am conscious. I am aware. I can prove within all reasonable doubt that my fathers or my forefathers used to be on this land. Right? But that's what you have to say. It's my ancestral land. It's our father's land. It is this. You get it? So the earth is ours by reclamation, or that we buy it. That's just what I'm saying in summary. Oh, you are aware the consciousness of occupier. So you reclaim it. My father used to be in charge of this land, so I'm now in charge. Chicken, huh? And then you buy into it to claim the promise. Okay? Because as funny as it is, we keep reaffirming this, that he that controls the land controls the fate of the land. For example, recently most Nigerians were barred from traveling to the US, right? And what was the cause? The war between US, Israel, and Iran, right? And US marked out some countries that had predominant Muslim um, persons, and or looked at Muslim country. And Nigeria happened to have a large chunk of Muslim persons, had Muslim persons in the name of affairs. And most Nigerians, even though it's with prior visa, were not granted visa into the US. Right? I think it's constantly happening. If you don't have an ongoing visa that you have that is running, and you come for renewal, they will tell you, please wait. Right? So why does that have to affect? Because the person is in control the fate of the land. So hope you get that. So fate is land. Whoever owns the land establishes the fate or region of the place. So, and invariably, if you decide to play in the real estate sector, it is a massive, massive, massive sector. Most of us we start out playing as helpers in the industry, people that are obsessed with helping others own a land, helping others own fortunes, right? And own it, connectors. Oh, you want to buy? I know someone that want to sell. Oh, you need to buy. I know someone that could sell, and that is it. Or you are trying to help people to make money. But are they the only sectors? No, right? We have the regulator sectors. And what fuels the regulators? Some of the regulators in the industries are the surveyors, right? Because you can have a land, but if the surveyor doesn't have critical, if you don't do your survey, you don't have your survey, you can only know, oh, this is my land. There is no legal representation of that land. Yes, there is no legal representation of that land. And you have your lawyers, and these are the persons that these are some of the regulators in the industry, depending on what you're doing, right? So you can also the mining license, you can look at them as regulators within that industry. You have we have realtors, we have developers, we have investors, and that makes sense. But now, can one work without the other? And as always, the answer is no. A system has to work. So if you want to get a land and the surveyor doesn't survey the land, and you produce a deed and the deed does not have a survey, do you have a land? The answer is no. You don't have a land in the eyes of the law. Why? Because when you get into litigation, when there is litigation and they question and they will ask you to provide the exact location of your land on paper. And if the survey is done wrongly, which I have seen in cases, and this place can be your land. And then there's a misrepresentation, maybe by one figure, the land can be showing is in Enugu. And just assume, and I've seen that being knocked off in courts several times. Just imagine that the lawyer now says, okay, let's bring an independent surveyor. The court says, let's bring an independent surveyor. Let's go track the land based on the coordinates of the land on the paper. And the land is reflecting in it. How does that feel? That to me is discrimination. And you know what? They will strike off the case, give the person that has the rights of there, and tell you the land you have claimed, your land is in Enugu. Please go and find your land in Enugu. And that's the end of the subject matter. Then you now have to go back and go deal with your surveyor. So that's why you must use professionals in the industry. And one of our clients, one of the days, said he was sending somebody and were willing to avail him the AutoCAD uh, for him to be easy to easily identify his plot. And the surveyor in quotes doesn't understand how to use an AutoCAD. Is that a professional? We know the answer. He could be registered by the books, right? But he doesn't understand the gents of his work. And those kind of surveyors, in the days of reckoning, could put you in high tension that you may not be able to resolve. So it's extremely important. It's extremely important. It is extremely important, right? And then just like as realtors, you will make a commission from this fee. Surveyor will make money from the transaction, right? Regulators will make money, realtors will make money, developers will make money, investors will make money, right? Everybody makes money around a chain of around a value chain of creation. Value chain, right? And so you're trying to produce something, just like someone is trying to produce a pen or whatever it is. And the realtor doesn't want, just wants the commission, is not caring for, oh, this product is going to be on capital appreciation drive for the next 10 years. And the client is looking for something for 1 year. He's looking for a flip, a land flipping mechanism. So how come? How are you going to do that? And you're giving the person something that is going to last for 1 year. You'll make your money, but you know what happens? Tomorrow the person won't return, and the industry is built on repeat sales. The industry is built on repeat sales. The industry is built on repeat sales. It's built on repeat sales. So, my people, don't forget those concepts. Okay. There's another concept of location. We always hit location, location, location. And location is beautiful, but I'm going to demystify something that has to do that is somehow not in constant with what we understand as location. The beauty of location, we know that we say when a place is, we've had this several times, that is 30 minutes to 1 hour away from town, that would be a city in the next 10 years. Now, there are places that become a city that because there is a grade of skill. There are parts of the city you will not want to live in today, and there are also parts of the city that when developed tomorrow that you would not want to live in, and you prefer the other side because of the compel strategies like compel strategies like knowing how do those places function at that time. You get it. Those things are there. So there are locations people want, maybe by virtue of what they want. There are persons that want cool, serene environment. Those places, they would exist, but they don't come by 10, 15 minutes away from the city. They come as a result of planning. Remember, BGC used to be a plantation, right? So were they other 15 minutes away? While others were then 1 hour away, were they other 20 minutes away from city center, were they other 1 hour away from city center before VGC came? Yes, they were. But then there's a most critical structural element in when you're looking for luxury properties. And that word, it is planning. You want to know a fine city, example, and you want to see a city that is not fine, a city that is lovely, a city that is the vibes are high, or that checks some boxes for you. It is the planning, it is the master plan of the city. So, what is the master plan of the estates that the person is buying into today? That is the real definition of location. Not 5 minutes away, not 10 minutes away, and not 20 minutes. So, a place could be 5 minutes away, another place could be 35 or 40 minutes away. And this place has a masterful depiction of what they are about to create. And that is your winner. And that is the location you're looking for. I hope we're getting it. So people don't go after what they need, they go after what they think they want. Right? People don't go after what they need, they go after what they think they want. So give people what they want, right? But sometimes people basically will come and tell you, I want a location in XYZ. Give it to them. But your job is to be the educational channel in what you're the realtor in that business school. Remember, I call the regulators, the realtors, the developers, and the investors. The role of the realtors is they are the teachers in the industry. They are the ones that educate. They're the ones that are saying, okay, you want here, this is here, but this is what this place will can give you. And the development is going this way, and it's good. That is your industry. That is your job. That is that's the definition of what you do. You help the investors make money. You have everybody in the value chain make money. Right. So, and most times that is why I think is it Mark Twain, one of the real estate quotes of all time, which I love. It says, "Buy the land, go to where the people are coming to, right? Find out where the people are moving to. Buy the land before they come there, right? That's one of my favorite real estate quotes of all time. Find out where the people are moving to. Buy the land before they get there, right? So invariably, in terms of location, go where go there and do your personal and corporate land bank and find out where the people are moving to, find out where the people are going to. Go there and do your personal land bank. As simple as it is. And as that simple as it is, uh but those places are not going to be looking nice, are not going to be looking beautiful. But you know the beauty of it? Most times when you move against the herd, just like one of our veterans, Razak Okoya, right? He would, when development goes this way, he goes this way, tends to make more money. Because we always know that the money will not always be in the direction of the crowd, right? Uh, right? Like our city, one of the cities where we operate in, currently don't own a master plan. And that is why the city is Yazad. That's why the city is not coordinated. And that's it, right? But we believe that they would get a master plan for it. So, and that is it. There's a prominent place that people keep buying in Lagos, right? So, in case you have clients that are clamoring for things in Lagos, and the place is a pen, but and then you hear beautiful estates here and here, but over 70% of the master plan of the lands in Ebe is marked for farm. So most people that are buying lands for 80, 70 million, 100 million, oh, they're building a powerful estate. At the end of the day, it's going to be a farmland. I'm telling you, because the government has mapped there as farm. And because of its mapped as farm, you're not coming there to build a classic estate. You're not coming there to build a place that the water will be. You get it. So no matter what you do, you're going to do a farm estate there. So You now get why master plan is important in terms of location. You now get why what creates a location is the master plan behind it. If it is well planned, if the estate is has a very good proposition, and you look at the team and you look at the backings, and then you know that that is going to be a location that will fetch you handsomely. And it's not about where you will live, it's about how you will live, it's about how would this place fund your living. So very important. It's very important, right? So just like you want to know most cities, when you come in, most towns, right? You know, over 18%, 80, over 18 states in Nigeria don't yet have a master plan. Over 18. But when you get into a state, right now, what's the master plan like? Right? The same way when you come into an estate, what is the master plan of the estate? What are they selling? What is the promise? What is the deliverables? That is what really defines what that location will be in 10, 15 years, in 5 years, depending on the development timeline. So, and there's so these are the important ingredients. And in terms of this land purchases, there are critical things we must understand in terms of our industry. Very critical. And one of them is legal representation. Legal representation. Legal representation, because of the timelessness of this transaction. And because once you enter into a land is history. Land is history. Because once you enter into a transaction, you've helped your clients acquire a land, you've joined the chain of owners forever. In places like in Abuja, where we have ages, right? Abuja Geographic Information Center. They have a database. And I also learned that there are some places that have it like Kano or thereabout. Not certain of them, but I'm certain of ages because I've worked and been there. Now, when you come to buy a property in Age in Abuja and you go to Ages to verify the title, it shows you the history of the persons that have owned that property. You get it? So they come, they register it, and it's in the system. And that's how a land registration before it gets to you. So you're able to know this last person that you're buying it from, how long he has owned it, when the government allocated it to him, and the rest of that. So so it's important. Selling helping person's own land is one-time income, right? It's one-time income. But you have to start looking at, how do I have a lifetime income? That's what I want to leave us with. How do you earn a lifetime income out of what you're doing? Lifetime income. And most lifetime incomes, I would tell you, comes from ownership. Ownership of the system, ownership of the land, ownership of the system, ownership of having a flock of um, persons of the persons that you have trained, being able to put your voice out there, being able to teach and teach, and then you own a lot of crowd base that will refer to you, because what you sell is land. And if what you sell is land, most people don't afford land. They don't wake up and afford land. So most people have a bridge that are walking towards. Just like you say that people are walking through a lot, right? And you say, is that someone is coming up from a lot or is going to a lot? And that is the same way. So that someone is coming up from a lot of money or is walking into a lot of money. But once the money comes, he wants to deploy. He wants to deploy. He wants to deploy. And once he deploys it, he's walking towards another bulk fund. So if you don't have a bulk fund, if you're talking to someone that is walking into big funds, you have to be able to that you're going to teach, you're going to be the voice that comes to mind, at the play of the time when he wants to make that decision. How do you become that boy? It's about being able to understand your location, being able to, okay, this is what makes a great location, and this is it. So demystify the concept of location going into the week. That's our assignment for the day. Demystify the concept of what really makes a great location. What really? So location is location. Yes, location, 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 right? That's how we say. But what really makes a great location? Is it 10 minutes away or is it 20 minutes away? No, it's infrastructure, it's planning, it is ability to aggregate things. Remember, I started by telling us that VGC was a plantation. And with that, I want to wrap up our training for today, and let us have this concept. In 2 weeks' time, we would have a guest all the way from Cameroon. His name is David, and but not our last guest, but that's the he's the most prominent voice. I won't say he's one of, but the most prominent voice on in real estate in the city of in the country of Cameroon. So he'll be coming to teach us to learn, and the hope of getting a lot of other speakers. So we share books, we share notes, we share concepts, and with that, we'll be able to drive that life. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, I do hope that we've been able to get a lot of feedback and a lot of understanding from this training. So one of the things I want us to take home is the tripartite of land and the location, the meat of the location, right? I want to keep it at that. The meat of the location. What makes a location tick? What makes a location tick? And if you can go in to educate people on that, to be able to create a nicheful market, a nicheful market. So, please, I want to know what did we understand from this training? I want to get our feedbacks. Were you able to pick up something? Would I enter? Do you have any questions for me? And that would be great. So, Mike, I would like you to come up stage and okay, good. Okay, that's good. So I don't know if I will take it at the questions, and we'll call it a beautiful Tuesday evening.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this evening. I just learned so much. I was writing even before you even called my name, sir. So it's been an amazing evening, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Benedict Obiajulu, for guiding us through another section of the Overflow Mind Shift. Definitely, I am sure that my mind has been shifted. And I'm sure that you have learned something amazing this evening that will also shift your mind. This is what we do every Tuesday, and you should not afford to miss any, and always show up on time. On Friday, we'll be having a physical training at our office. You don't have to miss it. Something amazing is going to happen. And your mind is also going to shift again, because we'll be unveiling some secrets that help you succeed in this business. So do not miss it for anything. On Friday by 11 a.m. in our office that is opposite the government house, Awan Road, Asaba. Don't miss. You'll be amazed at what you'll be able to learn this Friday. And that's where we call it a wrap today. Please do not forget to like and share these videos to your friends, and also hit the subscribe button so that you will not miss whenever we are live. It's so amazing to be here. I love you all, and I'm so grateful and happy that you are here this evening and you're learning with me. God bless you all, and have an amazing evening.